Tomorrow I will see you on your knees, begging, oh, 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 I need you. Look at me, we could bring this back. Don't tell me all you feel is your regret. Wrapped in lies, oh, cause I knew you would blow it, mess up all again. No, I will keep dancing, I will keep dancing, till the sun comes up and I'm running out of luck. I'm going until dawn. I'll keep dancing, I'll keep dancing, when the game's still on and I'm all the way in for more. Oh, I will keep on dancing, 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 dancing for more. Oh, I will keep on dancing, I'll keep dancing, till the sun comes up and I'm running out of luck. I'm going until dawn. I will keep dancing, I'll keep dancing, when the game's still on and I'm all the way in for more. I will keep on dancing, 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 dancing for more. Oh, I will keep on dancing, dancing, dancing for more. Oh, I will keep on dancing.
Waiting on the rooftops in the neon city. You see the electric storm in the traffic below.
Okay, Nikki, first off, thank you for reminding me to turn on Twitch. But also, it works! It fucking works! Hey, everybody. Good morning. I haven't finished this case yet because I haven't played since the last time I streamed. So it's been, the reason I'm yelling, yes, dual chat. You have no idea how much fucking shit I went through. No, tits. Fucking Twitch integrated throwing system. Usain Pipe reminded me to turn it on. You have no idea how much shit I went through trying to fucking make sure that this shit worked. So that you guys can actually have chat on screen for both YouTube and Twitch. And I'm just glad it works. So yeah, now that is on screen together. It actually tells you who's doing what, like who's from where, so that's really fun. I also turned on BTT emotes for Twitch chat, though I don't know if it's integrating my actual BTTV yet. I hope so, because I've got some emotes on there that people can use. But yeah, also, we have a new design. Guys, I have new stuff. I haven't updated my overlay in fucking forever, and now I have started to do so. It's not done yet, obviously. But yeah, I have needed to do an update for a long time, and I'm happy that I finally am starting to get around to it. I need to, of course. There's still some more edits. I'd like to create a new like sub follower bits location other than just the little paper thing we got over here. And I'd like to make a new starting screen. Maybe a just chatting stream. I don't really use just chatting all that often, to be honest. So I don't really think about it. But yeah, we got stuff and we got new things. I went to I visited Doc Vegapunk, and I may or may not have stolen some streaming tech that he was working on. I don't know. He didn't stop me. But yeah, thank you for everybody who showed up. We're gonna get into this because I've got a little bit of a time frame. I'm going until about 2:30, 3 o'clock, because I'm gonna be going over to my parents' house for dinner. And yeah, and then tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow is face cam day, where I am going to reveal what I look like. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous a little bit about that situation. I like this case more than most. Yeah. It was before that happened, before that whole incident, you know. I kind of visited. He didn't know, the information hadn't come out yet that I had left the Marines, that I had retired, as some might have said. And I was able to abscond with some shit. I should almost be done with the case. Yeah, I figured I was getting close. But yeah, let's jump on in. I can start reading and destroying my voice again. And so if I'm remembering correctly, the last thing we did was we found out that our next door roommate was an escaped Russian ballerina who was pretending to be an old man who was apparently important in the government. It seems that the crew is aware of the situation. What did you say, Sword Agent? No. I don't like Sword. I don't like the Marines. I liked the Marines at one point. Nicolina, underrated as hell. She's fun. She's 15, but she's fun. Also, I'm still betting that she had a snake. I don't think her snake is the result unless we find out that there's like either a bite on Kazuma's body or there's like some strangulation marks around his neck. Something like that. But we'll see. Well, let's go. Gotta find out who killed my boy. They killed my boyfriend. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we'd managed to find some clues as to what the speckled band might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine... we won't be for a while. Something I noticed is the opening narration isn't always that related to the case. Oh, yeah. But also, the reason why I think Snake is specifically this guy, because those markings are not natural. He definitely ran afoul of something that wrapped his head. And unless it's like ropes, also I'm sorry for like the weird tracking. Apparently an update came out for VTube Studio since the last time I streamed, and now everything's kind of out of whack, and I didn't notice until it was time to start. So, sorry. But yeah, it's something wrapped up motherfucker's face. Yet his birthmark. I'm sure that's what he'll claim. We won't be able to for a while. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us, as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where'd he go? Oh, yes, he completely disappeared. When did he do that? He slipped away. He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring that these were securely back on my wrists. I want to examine the cheese. I want to examine the cheese. Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Ah, yes! This is what they call cheese. It's made from milk cow. Okay, I can understand if they like didn't have cheese in Japan at this time period. Cheese and chalk don't look anything alike texturally. Cheese is a lot more glossy in many cases. So I don't know why he went to chalk. Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. Oh wait, no, yeah, cheese is just definitely not a big thing in Japan in general because that's only happened recently in the confines of history, which is why it's like really expensive to get like a pizza if you're in Japan. You can't eat it, Naruto-san. The trip will snap on your fingers. But what if I want to touch it? Really? But I suppose you're right. That's a big bar, too. That actually might, like, do some damage. You weren't actually going to try, were you? All I have had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Aw, thanks. Let's see. Check that. Yeah. Okay. Big man. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodations is confined to the wardrobe inside of the cabin. Yeah, which is inside of the cabin, making it our cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. Anyway, I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga has managed to uncover any new clues. Yes, we should probably find him and ask. Okay, cool. Don't take me in there. Hey, big guy. I really wish we had a chance to look around Miss Pavlova's cabin. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Hmm? Baby, you want me to throw you out again? Hmm? Oh, no, definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I will show you where lobsters spend winter. Understand? I understand. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think he'll ever forget your face. Damn it. Let's see. Anything new over here? We check that. The door there is checkable. That door leads to the second class area. Ah! It's locked. I can't open it. No, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape. Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. Alright, is he back in our cabin? We're supposed to be here. Looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga is unscathed. Oh, what do you mean unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten it, have you, Naruto-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of the cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Nope. Oh, yes. I'm sure he was exaggerating. We got 2 dead bodies. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Burr, 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 burr. You! Where did you go? Oh, sorry, I just, went to the next door cabin to investigate. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hosonaga did. That new Japanese, was it? Later I will roll him into ball and throw him in cold room. Phew, he's gone back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in much trouble on our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival. It could be a very long time from now, Naruto-san. Alright, it's where Cosmo spent his final moments writing his diary. I can hear a faint whistling sound. Looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Looking at his writing here on the page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone. Kazuma-sama left us with a valuable clue in these words. I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Naruto-san. We will! The ink is still fine. That's still fine. Chicken, fish. Why is this lit up again? Passengers keep dangerous objects and pets and strictly forbidden. As bringing her pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules. Let's say that directly in front of that person. She called it her friend, didn't she? Yes, although we don't know what form this friend it takes yet. I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin. A friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. Wait. Oh, there he is. Can we crawl through there? This ventilator joins Miss Pavlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. Just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. That speckled band, as he described it. If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it. But she seemed as baffled as we are. Yes. I wonder if she's telling us everything, though. I'm not sure. I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. Alright. Anything else new before I talk to Inspector? Oh. So it's clear that these letters were written with ink that was somehow spilt on the floor. And they spelled the Russian word for wardrobe. It does seem to be an ambiguous pointer to you, Naruto-san, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly ambiguous, it should just have spelt out my name. Oh, unambiguous, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words, or word, in Russian. Which begs the question of who did write it. Oh, no! He done got his ass kicked. Oh, my poor boy. He's got a shiner, and that's not blood from his coughing. Ah, you're back. Inspector! What happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. It's just scratches. My dude, that's not scratches, dude. Maybe by a bear. And I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate. He told me he'd pummel me with his fist and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. No, my poor dude. You can't do this. Looks like he wasn't joking when he said lay his life on the line. if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh! I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Sholms. I don't think he was German, though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we found out. Yeah, what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Oh, he's smiling, but it looks like it hurts so much. All of the detective inspectors in this game are the best. Ooh. But where's Gumshoe? I want to see Gumshoe's ancestor. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Still have 2 more? That's a lot of inspectors. Oh, do you know who she is? Well, I hit the window key. Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? Bro, the last thing you need is more blood. Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case, at least. Does it? Oh, how? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Sure. Oops, now I've definitely upset him. Bro's gonna be vomiting blood here soon. Inspector, has your investigation here in here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little I can do. Our duty is to make sure that the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here. Trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. So one of the next 2, he's an ancestor, but I'd say the second one is like Emma. Also, Gumshoe isn't likely to have come from a family of detectives based on some investigations dialogue. I know, but that doesn't mean I don't want to see an like Gumshoe ancestor. Ah, there's one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. Oh. What is this new information you have, Inspector? Short! We need more Dick Gumshoe! What is this new information you have? Ba-ba. What the fuck happened to him? He got beat up by the captain for letting us investigate. It's this. Mrs. Ria's medical officer has finished his examination of the body and managed to obtain a report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report? Kazuma-sama. So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebra. Damage to the cervical vertebra? His neck was broken? Okay. It would seem so. There's no obvious wounds or signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But it turns out that they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Bare hands! I think Gumshoe starves or something. His appearance in Phoenix's Gumshoe. Last trial was his final chronological appearance. Yeah, it was the last time we saw him. I think there is like some information about what happened to him, but it's not very conclusive, or it's like assumed. And nothing has been found as of yet, but the fact is that there was no sign of a wound. Suggests that it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Why wouldn't a blunt object would leave a bruise? What are you talking about? Oh, I see. He's been missing for 9 years in universe, as has Francisca. She's off in Germany. She's avoiding Maya for her feelings. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck would induce death, and also leave a bruise. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound would be left. Not if he died quickly enough, I guess? I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you are welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. Oh, don't look at me like that, Hosonaga. You're beat up, and it makes me sad. As cute as friend my is, I seriously don't see where it came from. Just the very fact of another prosecutor slash somewhat lawyer relationship, probably. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Ah. This man is willing to be abused to help, and I love that, and I hate that. Yes. Like, good God, man. You don't have to go this far, but I love you. As a medical report giving cause of death as the cervical spine injury, there are no traces of external injury or poison. Hold on. Sometime between 1 a.m. and a little past 2 a.m. Damage to cervical vertebra resulting in instant death. The victim's neck also certainly broken as a result of the strong blow in the area. No obvious external injuries. Traces of poison. I actually shouldn't have argued against this as much because I've been watching Dr. Stone and he kind of gets a little bit of the same. I shouldn't talk about it too much for people who haven't seen it, but a similar injury happens in the show to a character and no visible damage was seen, but he did die. So I actually should have known because there was a severing of the cervical nerve. I don't think they spoke on screen outside of that one time in Bridge to Turnabout. You must be new to the shipping game because, you know, it doesn't need to be any kind of meaningful interaction for people to start shipping people. Let me tell you, I came from the Naruto and the Digimon fandom. That shit was crazy. Oh, Mr. Sholms was here, was he? Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. Stares directly at MHA. Yep, exactly. People ship Franny and Maya? Oh yeah. Are you kidding? I think it's probably not the biggest ship, or not like the second biggest ship next to Phoenix and Edgeworth, but it's there. It's up there. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish, was all he said. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there by the piece of broken glass. Do you see? Shoe polish? Why did the two markings look totally different from each other? The only one I genuinely ship is Ryodosuke and Susato. Ah, they are cute. Ah, perhaps he was talking about the brick-colored marks. Do you think? Wrong button. Ah, yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholms have known it was shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is this, Susato-san? I hope they're talking about Maya when she comes back to the series. I mean, Maya and Fran were the same age, pretty much. Like, both of them were like 17 when they were in the same game together. Cosmo was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tanned hue. Uh-oh. Here comes an ad break. Shit, I forgot. I always thought she was older. No, Fran was like a 17-year-old prodigy. Right, Maya was a year older. So she was 18 and Fran was 17. Sort of dark brownish red then. Are they both 18 at the same time? But wait, actual same. Whatever. They were in similar age gaps. There, it wasn't like somebody was shipping like an adult with a child. That's the point. There was no pedo going on. It was fine. Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Cosmo's shoes as they scuffed the floor? Mark on the floor has been entered into the court record. So nobody answered this question, but are we about to do a trial in Hong Kong, or are we going to solve this shit before we get there and somebody else gets the blame? Again, nobody do that. Looks at Trucy, right, Chippers? Yes, that's fucked up, because Trucy is like, I think by the final game in the series at the moment, I think there might be another one. She's only 17, and it's like, nah, no, bad. No, I said don't tell me. Raph, come on. I was only asking out loud. It's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yeah, that might be for the best. Thank you. Ahem. Yep, ad break. Bye, Twitch side. Poor Inspector, you look exhausted. Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asoki-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. And the truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke up this morning. Oh, is that so? Do me a favor and check everybody's age in the court record. At least one will surprise you. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody so far outside of our ballerina, who's in here twice, is of age. So yeah, 23, 16. Never mind. Susato is 16. Okay. 34. Hey, that's how old I am. 29, 37, question marks because actually 15. Okay. Did not know that Susato was 16. I am happy to know that now. Always surprises me. Eh. I'm hitting the wrong button. There we go. So Hosonaga was attacked before, probably to get him out of the way because they knew that he was actually guarding. She carries herself in far more mature. It's more than likely a result of her upbringing. It does seem like her father puts a lot of responsibility on her back. So she more than likely has to pretend, or, well, I wouldn't say pretend. She probably has to be more mature than someone of her age normally would be. Plus, it's a time period thing, and there's so much stuff. There's so much shit. But a heavy head. That's interesting. My head's still throbbing, too. That was the reason why I didn't stream yesterday, because I had a fucking headache when I woke it up, and I didn't want to bring that into stream. Okay, so... what now? What now? Oh. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yeah, and you tidied them up, didn't you? You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabin leads to damage. Somebody's dead. Welcome back, Twitch side. I'm sorry for the ads, but I need to not be shadow banned. But it really wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are this untidy. So, the books in I'm just God, Nicolena in her cabin were also like knocked over along with the statue. Was there like rough seas last night? And that's what caused them to get knocked over? I can't wait for an explanation on what's going on with that. Her constant maturity and formality is why I love her fangirling and genuine curiosity moments. Yes, it's a nice contrast when it happens. I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy. Perhaps. Was this an accident and somebody just tried to pin it on somebody else? Did the sea just get so rough he fell over and he broke his neck against the floor? That would be really fucked up if that's the case. Again, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Let's see. Knife. That. So that's everything here. So I guess we're moving again. You got the thing? Alright. Ah! Look, Naruto-san. The seaman Stroganoff is gone. Strong enough? No, but close. Imagine seeing someone dying on accident and then be like, oh, I know. I'll make it look like a murder. I mean, there were people that were apparently after him for whatever he was supposed to be doing in England, so... yeah, it still wouldn't make sense. But then again, this is also Ace Attorney, so, you know, even the stupidest outcomes could be the right one. The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us. All these Russian names, they're impossible to remember. Tra-la-la. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Tra-la-la-lira-lira-lay. I did it the great detective way. This is caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Is he already in there investigating? Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Captain Underpants, go! Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin. Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can investigate. Definitely, before Stringy Knot Crewman comes back. It's Stroganoff, not Stringy Knot. I want to see the pet. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. No! No! Oh, I wanted to see the pet. Even if it's not a snake. Sato-san. Oh, where she's gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruto-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake. Not just for Kazuma-sama. What do you mean? Can't be long now until we arrive at port. In Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Naruto-san. By ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. Aw, she trusts us now. Naruto-san, are you there? Sorry, right here. Yes? Why? Oh, good. I thought she might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know. I don't believe you. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find some Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. Oh, okay. Are we assuming that the friend, the pet, is still here? Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Susato, I know what you are. Imagine having beef with Stroganoff. I love beef with Stroganoff. In fact, that's the best way to eat it. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Bruya. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. I'm still betting snake. And more to the point, where is it now? It's gonna slither up my leg and it's gonna try to choke me. Beef stroganoff with egg noodles. Yeah! All the books are toppled over together. Look, every single one. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He toppled too. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Cosmo's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcases. Sure. Why not? I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night that she ran away from the ballet company? Thank you. Thank you, Ryunosuke. Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage. How? Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know. The noodle dish? Yeah, stroganoff. Hi, King. You like the new overlay? Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again here, too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. Don't... Well, I was about to say don't mess with the crime scene, but this isn't the crime scene, and she already messed with the one at the crime scene. Hey! Made it last night. Is the tiara still here? I think I see it. There's just a few books on the desk, nothing else. Wait! Nothing else by the looks of it? As Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night, she's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. The tiara's gone? That's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading books written in Russian. Thank you, Susato. Thanks. I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruto-san. Kindly remember that. I mean, it was a general question, and, you know, it wasn't really necessary that you answered it. This isn't important? Okay. Nor is the bed. It's official, Ick. You want Slimobs to read something. You want to take another crack at that, King? Because I don't think that came out the way you wanted it to. There's one of these next to the bed in Cosmo's cabin, too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. No! We're not supposed to be in here! She barely hesitated there. She gave it a good tug, too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. Oh, thank God. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. Oh, my God. They have one brain cell. Ah, yes. They're displayed in this cabin, too. Look, the SS Bria's rules of passage. Passengers, blah, blah, blah. Weapons, no pets. I suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. Ryunosuke is cute. He's a good dude. He's a cute little guy. And his boyfriend's dead. We're sad. Her special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friend has disappeared to. It's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff didn't find it and throw it overboard. No! Oh, yes. So do I. I get the feeling that Stroganoff did come in here. Oh, if you were talking about the girl on screen, yes, Susato. Also, she's 16, King, so roll it back just a little bit. Just as a warning. I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. And official if you want someone to read something. Okay. Stop doing this, Japan. I mean, a young girl can be cute. You're allowed to be cute. Just, I'm saying, roll back if you're feeling anything other than the fact that she's cute. Because right now they're not really teeing her up as any kind of, like, on the market sort of situation. She's just kind of an assistant. Shall we have a little look and see what's been thrown away? Naruhodo-san. It's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish, you know. Ugh, those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly. We have no choice. There's hardly anything in here at all. God, I feel like I'm playing Pokemon, and I'm just rustling through the garbage and finding nothing. You want someone to read? Not right now. I'm fine with reading on my own at the moment, but I appreciate the offer. If my throat starts to get destroyed a little further into the stream, then maybe I will ask some friends to come help. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. Tea. It would seem this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are a very thirsty people. Or because Miss Pavlova only came into this cabin last night and hasn't had a chance to make any tea yet. I mean, it could be either. It definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I lay 1,000 to 1 on it. Does Ryunosuke have a gambling habit? Rather obstinate, aren't you? Naruto-san. Pet food. I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. Yes, it does look like it's been dropped, or more like it was put there deliberately. Ah, do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? What? A leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there was a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? Let's see. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Look at that, look at that. We haven't looked at the door yet. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolt latch that the other cabin door has. If the bolt's drawn across, there's no way anybody can enter the cabin from outside. Yes. It's a not particularly heavy duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across on its own accord, would it? No, and the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the other side. I mean, you could use a magnet. It just, to be attaching itself to the door as well. But sure. To get a strong enough magnet. And it seals up perfectly, too, to stop any seawater coming in. So, you couldn't use the method you told me of passing the thread through a crack around the closed door, either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. Huh. Now that I think about it, I am kind of sus, aren't I? Yeah. So this ventilator connects to Cosmo's cabin next door. Yes. Although, what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Ah, maybe? It's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm? Or the occupant of both cabins would die of gas poisoning? That is a possibility. Anyway, last night Cosmo wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. Alright, what else have I not checked? Got that, get this, look at the door, look at that. Look at this. Look at the plate. Look at this. Look at that. Alright. I think we've inspected everything in here. I guess we're moving. You missed something in the hall. Yes, that's where I was going back to. I figured something was going to change. No. Okay. We looked at that. We looked at this. We looked at the door. We looked at the cheese. Ah. Hi, Sholms. I just kind of want to walk up and kick him in the butt. Not because I hate him or anything, but because he's in, like, prime position for just a quick, swift butt kick. Oh, it's Mr. Sholms. Look. Look. Look at him. Ah, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Tra-la-la-la-lee-la-la-lee. I did it the great detective way. I'm not going to sing this play properly. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Don't mind his parody of the song from 60 years in the future. He's an innovator. Or is he simply in extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all... Oh, he's singing My Way. Okay. And through it all, when there was doubts, it's lucky Herlock was about. Excuse me. Be fair, the song was stolen, perhaps from Sholms. Sure. I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholms! Dog! What is it? You wanna fight? Bro almost died and now he's ready for fisticuffs. Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and that's just about to reach its climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never gonna stop, so I figured now was a good time as any. I was very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get it. I get the picture. Now, could you put those fists away? bro is ready to fucking go. Fucking love this cast. They're all so damn good. They're all very animated, and I love it. Mr. Sholms, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewman, who's usually on guard here. Oh, yes, the ship's log. And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, a majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You have been utterly blinded by it. I'm glad he's talking about the sun specifically. Just wait until you see his marvelous dance move. I already kind of saw them, didn't I? Like, well, we were doing the great deduction last time. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholms? Not those moves. Oh. Observe the other pages and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman oft stands sentry in this first-class passageway. And he has an utmost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes it every 30 minutes. Nothing to report. Precisely. Put it simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. He's a fully animated dance later in the case. I can't wait. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Ah, okay. Do you mean... Yes. There were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? He had to pee really, really badly. That remains a mystery for now. But we can be sure something significant took place. Could have gone back and written that, eh? So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribbling nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I should stake my life on it. You must log that the ship's log in your mental file. How about this court record file I carry around with me? That works too. Court record kept the crew assigned in the first class cabin. There is virtually no entries from 2 a.m. until early this morning. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is. Ah, no. I see that makes Sholms brilliant. Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to have be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Another one? Did they pump gas into the fucking, like, first class quarters? Because he's got to also be part of the first class quarters, right? There's no way he's, like, in second class or whatever. So, why does everybody have a fucked up head who was somewhat near the situation? The jokes write themselves. Shutakumi always got jokes. Only 2 first-class cabins we see? Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that there aren't more. That'd be really dumb if there were only 2. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just... well, I feel the same. Sorry? Okay, so... and she was in the lower class cabins. So her head is... if she's also having a headache, something happened to the entire ship. Ever since I woke up this morning, I had something of a headache. You're on the right track. Think about it wrong. Yeah, well, this has opened it up a bit more. Sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? So, if it wasn't something that was pumped in, it was probably something in the food. Just for that day. But why would you do? Why the whole ship? Like, I understand this section of the first class cabins where you've got the person that you're targeting, whoever did this. Why would you Why would you infect the whole ship essentially with a headache? Anything else to look at while we're here? We'll see. That we will. Okay. Let me take a quick look at the court record. I want to see this new piece of information. I go to the W. Okay. Yeah. Alright, okay. Alright. Nothing to report. All the way up till 1:30, he did nothing to report. And then the murder itself was projected to have taken place between 1 a.m. and a little past 2. So the murder itself must have happened around between 1:30 and 2 a.m. Oh my god, his first name is Biff. Yep. His literal name is Beef Stroganoff. Yep. Welcome to Ace Attorney. I have suspicions that it was Biff who did it, but that I don't know if that's true or not. We'll find out. I can only hear My Way and Cells TFs. Yeah, it is fun. What do we do? What do we need to examine now? What must be? Oh! Gotta take a closer look at this. Really is such a beautiful color, this glass. And it looks like whatever it was broken clean in two. But the other half is nowhere to be seen. And then there's the brick-colored mark, which is shoe polish, according to the great detective you seem to know all about. I suppose that it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoe. It looks like a bell. Yeah, it's like it's a little bell. I think that in the first one they said that it was something used in some Japanese special attire, I believe. But that was 3 days ago, so God knows if I remember right. Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure that it's shoe polish and not something else? Because he's a great detective, of course. It's hardly a reason, is it? I'm surprised that we've never had to examine the ink bottle, because this is a part of the suitcase. What are we missing? Did I miss something over in Pavlova's room? Ah! What's that? Alright. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile fore. Full stop. Hard to starboard. All hands brace for impact. I didn't know we were on the Titanic. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Susato-san, hold on to me. Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. It looks like we avoided a collision. I think... Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness. What about you, Naruto-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. The door latched. So they're able to slide in the event of a very, very sudden stop of the ship. Everybody had a headache. Did a collision or of some sort almost happen during the night? And not only is that what caused everybody who's still alive, for one, to have a headache because there was like a quick rush and everybody banged their head against something while they were sleeping, but also it caused Kazuma's door to close, therefore basically proving that this isn't a locked door mystery, it's a oopsie daisy, the ship just happened to lock itself door mystery. The books fell over too. Yep, they're back down. So there was a sudden stop that was caused last night. Probably roughly around 1 to 2 a.m. Was Kazuma's death really an accident? Did he just fall over and happen to land perfectly to fucking break his neck? But also, why would somebody have put down the Russian word for wardrobe if that's the case? I don't know. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hosonaga. Is that you in there, Naruto-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The door bolt? Look at that! The door's bolted! Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. They're just like they were before again. I don't think you needed the again. Naruto-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? Do I have to, like, literally let him in? I'd better tidy the place up first. Let me in! Hey, are you okay in there? 10 minutes later. Our violent emergency stop has solved one mystery, at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around, tidied up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Another to be continued? We've only been going for like an hour. Okay. Somehow, the door to the cabins we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. You, what are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, so we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, yeah? Oh? How did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we had an emergency stop. Did Sholms, thinking he had an idea about what happened with the latches, make a false report in order to cause this to happen? Or did somebody legitimately just think they saw something in the fog? Wait, why does he know about Pavlova? Has that been explained? It has not been explained. But also, we theorized last time, I think that it was after you had left, for the day, Raph. If I think because you had left while we were still playing. I feel like him and Pavlova are related somehow, just because they got the similar hairstyle going, or the hair color and the eyes. But who knows? This person previously obviously triggered the alarms. Stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew is running everywhere. The first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. I mean, I know why, but I don't know if the reason has come up yet. No, the reason has not come up yet, but I did suspect. I can't believe the character with those obvious death flags is dead. I know, I'm so sad. He was my boy. He was my boyfriend, and he's dead. I mean, I knew he was gonna die. I just didn't think it would be this fast. I think I actually predicted in the first stream that he was gonna be dead by the second case. Like, they were gonna pull a Mia, and they did. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm. Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder! Dressed all in black. You are the devil! Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is the first. MIA, missing in action. Oh, fuck, you're right. No, we found her. So she can't be missing in action. You opened my travel case. How could you? What? No. We didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector! Yes? Wait, she knows? Arrest this man! I know he did it! He is a criminal. It is not enough that he has killed a man. Whoa. Hey, we can blow your cover here. He is a stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Vixen? Okay. Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right. You are devil. Doesn't look good, does it? There is a cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong, and then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. Well, she asked you to do it. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. Is often shorthand for dead. Yes, but also missing in action does mean that they can't be found. His suit is brown, Pavlova. No, it's black. Do you think Shitakumi was just like, you know what? I want to make these characters racist. I mean, it's possible that it was kind of a thing, but this is also set in like the late-ish 1800s. So back then there was, I mean, I can't say there was way more racism than there is now considering current events, but it was a very commonplace thing. So unfortunately, that is just the truth. It's a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. I will, yeah. Oh, okay. I just need to keep it calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating. Don't touch my things! I want you to show, want me to show you where crawfish hibernate. Yeah! Why me? Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think you're doing? Well, everyone's attacking me, and I was just starting to think she was my friend. Also, are you supposed to be dressed like Dirk, or... Well, it's just like it's a Japanese, like, school outfit, is what we're wearing. Isn't there anyone who can help me out of this mess? What does Dirk have to do with this? Everything. He was alive during this time, being channeled by a future Maya who came back from the past in order to see what it was like. Jacket, mostly. Miss Pavlova, can I get out? Listen, I'm sorry that we snuck in here without your permission. Get out now. We just need to investigate in here to help understand the. I don't know how to fucking read Russian. It's no use. She's not going to listen. I need to find someone who will. So, Tosanaga. Nah, old bag and the judge were around. Oh god, yeah. Please, just give me a little more time. I do nothing for you. Except show you the way to ship's prison cell. Thanks, but no thanks. But I'm innocent. I didn't kill anyone. And trespassing and stowing away? Well, you know, sometimes life can lead you down unusual avenues, and well... Enough! You're guilty! Ship's cell is the only place fit for you. Come on, there has to be someone. Some savior to rescue me from this crisis. I'd like to imagine some later characters are just them in disguise to hide their immortality. Thinking of Old Bag as immortal is a horrible thought. Have you played through Investigations yet? I haven't played through Investigations, but I did watch a little bit of like a highlight reel of when Jello and his friends played it. The Miles is on fire and Miles is a robot special stuff. So I have a very good idea of everything that goes on in Investigations. Like the plane. Investigations is overrated. Everybody wants Edgeworth. You've got yourself into a difficult situation here. But entering the cabin uninvited, I mean... Sorry, I was just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. I have to take responsibility for giving you freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now that this has happened, I'll have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to rescue me from this crisis. I don't know how to feel. I wonder if the knife is a key. Twist dick. I love this bullshit. Like, I just motherfucker. Or there was a trapdoor in the fireplace. Oh my god, there was a trapdoor in the fireplace. I had no idea. What the? What are you doing up there? What? Why do you have the tiara? Mr. Sholms! Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. It is heavy, the crown. Secret passageway. Oh my god, there was a secret passageway in the fireplace! Sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? That means, that isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no, no. Well, why are you hanging from the hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of 20,000 rubles. Naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall. So full of brag and bounce. Bro has a hatred of hooks. No, don't say that. I never knew whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again. The great detective. Why does Investigations insist on murdering the character of Franziska von Karma? Did they really murder her character? Because the only growth she had was that one time she cried to Edgeworth at the end of the second game. And in the third game, she was right back to whipping every single fucking person that came across her. I don't know. Sadly, It's her at her best, right? Like, and in one part of that, she was actually like literally a child because of a flashback. Ah, Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. No, it's fucking not. Well, then when is it? When was she at her best? Was it at 3? She's at best in bridge when she's playing bridge with people. I have something to report to you most urgently. Oh, you might try looking for me somewhere other than the hook on the wall next time. What is to report? Speak! An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes. The case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved. By me, naturally. What? What? Really? Yes, I've eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all of your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Ha! You have solved it? Even Hedgehog understands this case. Am I a hedgehog? We all knew who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning when we found criminal in the wardrobe. It is the stowaway. And he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it! The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. It's not true. Because if everyone knows, the cabin door, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Sonic! Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Da, locked room. Excuse me, that is point. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. Oh, Sanaga. There's no way to the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. Unless you're all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there's another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprits in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator, man. I mean, it is a possibility, but how wide is that ventilator? Unless he's about to point the finger at Pavlova. You think this is funny? I could not even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arm is as thick as a tree trunk's. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. He's about to finger Pavlova, isn't he? Not happy that I said that. He's about to point the finger at Pavlova. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act passing through the ventilator. Or is he found pet? Shut up! Mr. Sholms, do you mean... You're referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? I can hear a faint whistling sound, and at 1:35, there was a speckled band coming from the ventilator. Precisely, my dear madam. What? Okay. Thought my phone was going off. What does that mean? What's this speckled band? The answer to the particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholms, what are you doing? There's a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I'm about to expose for you all will shock you to your cores. Bro, it's Ray Shields. Behold! Yeah! What the? Snake! called it! And the markings on his face. Fucking knew it. Ah, it's cute. Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The Speckled Band. Snake! Indubitably. We hate any fender in this house. She had a pet snake. Mr. Sholms, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Hmm? What? Yes, you're right. I think in this case you'd have to call it the Striped Band, wouldn't you? I was shrugging off as just like, this is normal. I am comfortable. Allow snake to encircle my head. It's fine. You both see and observe what with distinction. However, do you not think is precisely the trap to which the culprit wishes you to fall? You see, if we take our hands onto the snake and rip off this fake skin, you'll see it's actually speckled. Yet, he's my son. This is my son. Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? Sato, how exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explained the intricacies of my train of thought. You have a thought? Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died. That is all. His death is nothing. Has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Tabloid, Sean Fenn. That's it. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. Ah! And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. But there's no visible markings, and I don't think, no matter how strong a snake is, I don't think it would be able to sever a cervical nerve without leaving bruises. So I don't think the snake did it. No. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholms must be right. He hit the nail on the head. No. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi? Bro can't talk. His mouth is too covered up. A cervical nerve? Yeah, my fucking headphones died! King, this is your fault. I'm wired again. What if it was a serpentinal nerve? I don't think it exists. I can't even say it right. Sorry, I'll leave. No, it's fine, Lime. You can stay. It's fine. There's no worse jokes than what's already inside of Ace Attorney. Yeah, it looks like he can't speak with the snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend of yours in your neck. I don't think he's a biter. So, everyone, let's begin. Herlock Sholm is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Here we go again. The game is afoot. Bites dick. No! There's no worse joke than people saying Kay is a good character. Oh! Oh! Ooh! Right for her. I actually don't mind Kay. She's a little annoying, but I don't mind her. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. The whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is this very pain that's that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what is the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that Portinous? I'm assuming Portinous night. Or Mo's entire existence. Yeah. What about calling Alba? Y'all are just going for the character jugulars. Jesus. Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I expected, another telltale glance. Bye, Twitch side. See you after the break. Without a doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. No fangs. Bro's face is strong. The victim's written observations on the night of the question tell of a speckled band. At least those fuckers are confined to one case. Yeah, true. God, the circus case. It's fun, but also terrible at the same time. Whereas, regrettably, the specimen's markings are not fit. Do not fit the description in any way. What explanation can we give? Can we give that, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to your quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Does she have a little... Oh. That's the shedded skin? I thought she had like a sock for the snake to keep him warm. Yes, that which you're trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's slurred skin. Looks directly at Regina, coming back in Investigations too. Yeah. And bringing along a new terrible character. Do you know how bad a character has to be for the only time that there ever is that they lose all of their memories? Yes. Oh yeah, 1K. Did she really lose her memory, or was she faking it the whole time? Evidently, after the suitable and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I have to look something up. Hold on, wait a minute. Because this is about to be, like, the most bullshit, like, response that ever could be told. They sure can. But most things with pigments vary due to hormone changes in accordance. Okay. Alright, so they're not spouting utter bullshit. Alright, that's good to know. I don't know what you're talking about. Because the words gunpowder residue and sunflower residue could pull off faking amnesia. That's fair. The pattern can change a bit. Yes. That's what I was looking up to see if they were bullshitting or not. Now, to completely change is a different question, but, you know, we can let a little bit of our imagination go. Last night, though, the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side of the as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared that the young gentleman, who was about to lose his life as a speckled man. Oh, it appeared as a. Okay, I misread that. All right. I've seen small changes in person, but but none too big. An old friend had a pet snake. Yee. Snake's good. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it sloths its skin. A snake is so dreadful, we can only imagine that it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Beloved speckled snake. India, huh? Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter. The grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which we have been appraised, it would appear that there was no visible sign of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. So either he's fucking with us again, or he hasn't read the post-mortem report yet. Now, if we take that as a fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm the scene of the crime. Oh no. Could there be? He's screwing with you. That's what you keep telling me, but I have yet to found evidence to the contrary. Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the visages of the snake's bites delivered by your terrifying friend. Is literally Maya with Trucy's backstory. I don't care for her. That's fair. This makes no sense. There's no point in feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that linked you to the victim's death in the traveling case. She's somehow dumber than Maya. Yes, she is somehow dumber than Maya. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made a note of a low whistling sound that he had heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, wasn't it? Oh, was it not? The sound that you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Most of the proof in the outright proof that he's doing that comes up later in the duology. Indeed! You put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you'd summoned it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. You're saying that the whistling came second? If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Also the bullshit of, I only ever steal the truth, blah blah blah, immediately contradicted by how every single thing you inspect, she tries to steal. Yes, okay, yeah. Somehow a lot of people miss it. Okay. Lime is still on just character assassination. Okay. Do you deny this snake has undergone such training? It's not true! She never actually steals anything. Nope, she's a terrible thief. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. and its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt my logic is infallible. Well, except for the fact that we have a coroner report that says death by... Damn it, my joke! Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. Stink is still on his face. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food. Can snakes drink milk? Is that okay? I don't think they can. Can they digest dairy? Anyway. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promised food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You solved the mystery! Amazing! Your great deductions really live up to its name. Also, while we're at it, fuck Gumshoe too. No! Lime, that's where I draw the line. Gumshoe's great. I see now why Sherlock Sholmes is such a great household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just, about your deduction before, something doesn't quite make sense to me. He is nothing. He really isn't. He's everything. Gumshoe is great. He's good in other games. He's a great character. He's fun. You can't tell me that Gumshoe is a bad character. If you do, you're lying. I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Thank you. Ah. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see? That's my endearing character trait, pal. Like, he's good at his job, but he's also terrible at his job. It's a weird conundrum that makes him great. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. He's good, but he's not Emma. That I will give you. Maybe it's just my bias against characters that are dumber than Sebastian de Best are in roles of people who are typically smart roles. Prosecutors, like that. Good at his job? Okay. So, again, he is good at his job, but he is terrible at his job. He's He's not that dumb. Like, you have to remember that there are points in the original trilogy where he saves a lot of cases to, like, or gets hurt trying to save a case. Like, I know a lot of people remember Francisca showing up with the evidence needed to basically do everything for the final investigation, but you got to remember that it was Gumshoe who was finding the information and got hurt trying to get the information to Edgeworth and Phoenix. He is good at what he does. Also, yeah, the broke joke is way overplayed. It's very sad. The poor Gumshoe. Then why the fuck is he a detective? He is a detective. I mean, you can be a detective and be dumb. It's not impossible. Name one thing that he solved. If I could... I mean, I just gave an example. He found the conclusive evidence needed to finish off the case where Maya got kidnapped. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there's something else. Snakes have no ears. That's not true. Like, they don't have, like, ears, but they can hear stuff. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. Can't be a detective when solving 0 crimes. I mean, he was solving crimes beforehand. We don't know that every single case that he was involved in was going for the wrong person. They sense vibrations. Yeah, which is still technically hearing. But madam, what is the tales of Ariba? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sound of a flute? Finding and looking for shit is not solving crimes. Agree to disagree. I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears? These creatures are so inept to do practically useless. Be practically... Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholms. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure the snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like this one in these cabins. That one I will give her. That's true. It's defensive posturing. That's because the flashback investigations case provides to the contrary. That was also, like, wasn't he new at the time? Practically useless like Gumshoe. Alright, well, we'll accept that you don't like Gumshoe, but I think that he's a good character. Then it should try harder. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholms. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. Oh no, he said. Yeah, it was like literally his first case. Like he and Edgeworth kind of started around the same time period. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naoto. Oh no, you don't mean. Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' last deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling this was coming. God, the things I would do for Hosonaga. He's a good dude. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. Cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? God damn it. You've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see that they are restored after work is done. Oh boy, it's a bot. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I love bots. I love banning them. He's done from the start and hasn't changed. I am the last inspector of the best detectives. Fear not, they shall be restored after work is done. And counter argument, Mia's first case is Mia's first case. Still dumb. I really wish you'd leave him. I mean, everybody was dumb in Mia's first case. Let's just say it. The judge was dumb. The assistant was dumb. Edgeworth was bordering on dumb. It was all dumb. Now, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholm is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Bobby is good. Bobby Fulbright was something else. Also, we never really met the real Bobby Fulbright, so we don't know if he was That's exactly how he acts. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. Also, never forgive him for sidelining Emma. Yeah. But I mean, there was a reason for it. His death has nothing to do with me, and this whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall the horrid events, your aching heart smarts. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Cosmosum's death is weighing heavily on her. But you're not sure Mr. Sholms has read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression, then? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Just really get all up in this... I wanted to grab... oh, yeah, that's right. I gotta move it. She's holding her wrist. There it is. Which isn't a lot, but still. Also, never forget, says at least acknowledge that she was awful in RF and investigations, which isn't a lot. I mean, that's back when she was like a kid, wasn't it? She hadn't even really started studying forensics. Like, oh, Mr. Naruto-san, look, it looks like a painful wound. Yeah, it looks like there's a scratch of some kind from some kind of small animal. Fairly recently, too. She wasn't a character until Apollo Justice. Yes, exactly. That is true. In her first appearance in the special case for Ace Attorney and in the investigation games, she was basically Science Maya, and that was all she had. Until then, just science. Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here. Does it not? Does she have a second pet? Why can't we look at that? What angle do I need? Where is Kitten? Okay, wait. So, it's not the claw scratches? What else is there? I mean, we got the aching heart. We got the claw marks. All right, hold on. Let me peg the aching heart really quick. She really does look troubled. Yeah, it's hard to believe that she's putting that expression on to fool us. But if you look closely, it's almost like she's actually staring at something. At what, you think? Perhaps something physically causing her pain. But we should have a closer look. Oh, right. I have to present. That's the problem.
Yes!
There we go. I always forget about presenting it. The photo! Oh, fuck, it's the blue badger all over again. No! As you'll recall, the horrid events that claw marks smarts with pain. Indeed. And a simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? Ah! When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I'm sad, the pain from this wound is worse. Fuck the blue badger. All my homies hate the blue badger. Present that right angle, you dumb bitch. Present at the right angle. No, I'll present wherever I feel like it. That is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what is the nature of the intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it is the friend with which you boarded the vessel, is it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. No doubt your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. The friend is Stroganoff, right? Seems likely that the scratch marks on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. She isn't good until... Yeah. Insert Badger Badger song. No! Oh then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of our friend? We should follow her gaze, not Oda-san. That's where we'll find the answer. So... I mean... I'm assuming it's this. Cat! The bell! So the cat got in there too! Where's the cat? Ah, look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She is exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we better take a closer look at this. Kitten! Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova is cuddling here. Ah, kitten! The assassin cat. Yes, this cat was powerful enough to sever a human cervical nerve with just one swipe of its dangerous paws. Aw, what a cute little kitten. It could vie with you, couldn't it, Naruto-san? And for the blackest outfit. You're right, his outfit is kind of brownish, huh? In profiles. Must be a lighting thing. A black kitten. And from the looks of this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it. Take that! Little black creature. It's a black cat. It's a little black creatura. Without a doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes! The scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. So does the snake belong to Stroganoff? Is that why he's constantly got markings on his face? Because the snake is actually his pet? The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! We just killed a 15-year-old. Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, the fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observation on the night in question tells of a speckled band. Whereas, regrettably... I said is my son. Is my son. How the fuck are you doing that bullshit with the lights to comrade Herlock? He's just that good. And we can do it too. The specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation what explanation can we give, pray? I can't read today. What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would ever have known. Oh yes, ploys like this are Mr. Sholms' specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deductions were his specialty. Or maybe making me believe that it was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that that's the skin of a snake. I think it's a cat toy. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? Let's spin around and take a fucking look. It is a cat toy. Well, it's speckled, and it is a band, but what is that? What is it? Seems to be soft and fluffy. We're just over there poking it. It's kind of soft. A long piece of cloth of some sort, and that looks like a handle on the end. I think it may be a cat's toy. This is sort of common in the West, apparently. How is that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Little bats at it. They bat at it. It's cute. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it. That sounds positively adorable. Cat's toy. So, are we supposed to present that, or is there something else? Okay.
Yes!
Yes! Yes, the thing you're trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely. It's the true nature of our infamous speckled band. Ah! It looks so much better in the drawing. It was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? Because the cat had wandered over to the next cabin and she was trying to get him to come back. Ah, my dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah. In summary, the nature of this friend is Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of a cat by the name of Darka. Yeah! A truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. And you will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. We entered it into evidence. I guess it jumped from the wardrobe. If it used the cord, it would pull it. Yeah. And that would have called somebody there. It was after I gave her her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared. Through the ventilator. Darka. She's so naughty. It was a kitten! La criatura! Moving on, we've come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did the young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been appraised, it would appear that there is no visible sign of injury. Ah! El gato! In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Well, Mr. Sholms says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right. But Mr. Sholms seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma-sama wasn't poisoned. Suffocation via kitty. She laid on his face, and he couldn't move her. He wasn't. It was so cute. He couldn't move her, and he suffocated as a result. I'd rather die than move this cat. Yes, it would seem so. Well, let's give him the information he's missing now.
Yes!
I would love if he was just like, oh, fuck, there was a postmortem report? In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes. I knew that was one or the other. Thank you. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of a cervical vertebra is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganoff isn't an immortal freak, you know. The injury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now that we take this as fact, we can reasonably imagine that the remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death. Oh no! It was an accident! Oh no! Wait! Are you telling me that... Okay, I'm throwing out my theory here before we get this revealed. I'm assuming we're close to the end. Don't tell me if we are or not. But the cat came into the room, got in between his legs, caused him to slip, and also somehow damaged the bell on its collar. He fell, cracked his neck on the floor, essentially killing him. And Big Dude, who knows of Miss Pavlova, came in, saw what happened, figured out there was somebody in the wardrobe or just knew that something had to do with the wardrobe, and wrote that down and left. And then a very convenient situation happened where there was a emergency stop the previous night, which caused the latch to close, making it look like a locker room mystery. Which it still kind of is, but not really. These first two are the weakest, but they're still good. No, I like these cases. I'm still mad about how long it took for case 1 to be finished, but I like these cases. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Yeah, this is a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though. Presumably Darko didn't silently creep up behind Cosmo and deal him a fatal blow. I suppose. It is possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe that Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened?
Yes!
The mark on the floor. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death consistently. And this particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed. Positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results. The undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. Beeswax? And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please, no. And by the dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object that as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebra shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No! I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes. Oh, I've read that as if it was her. Yes, the facts are clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in the traveling case. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. But... And if this part of Mr. Sholms' deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. The killer was Puss in Boots! Go get him! Find him! Before Jack does. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. The answer must be somewhere. Let's take a look around, a little look around. There's a tiara again. It's back where it was. I mean... Is it... Oh! The other part of the bell is in here, isn't it? Perhaps all first-class cabins have them. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying the cabin late last night. Presumably, there's not much rubbish in there yet. There it is! Jack in the corner eating a duck. No! Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you. No, I want... It's not... It's... Oh, wait, I have to present it. My bad. I thought I would have to point at the thing to present it, and that's why I got confused. I just have to present the waste paper basket. Okay.
Yes!
Boom! That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in the waste paper basket. Ah! Ah! Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely. We found another piece of broken glass on the floor of Mr. Asogi's cabin. So why didn't you bring that with you? And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no! So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of the glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? Yeah! He loves eating kitties, specifically living ones. He loves it. When they're alive, he eats them. Oh, God. Jack was such a funny-ass character. It was a long time since we had just had a villain character that was just straight up an evil. No redeeming qualities to him whatsoever. And you know what? Sometimes that's all you need. You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? Also, Sholms canonically eats candle wax. You know what? I believe it. I don't know. In that hushed Russian accent of yours. Won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. Evidence linking to Miss Pavlova to the little glass bell. That would be... Take that!
Yes!
If you would look at the photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, the very glass bell in question. He also tried soap because it cleanses his stomach. Ugh. The truth is caught up to you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that faithful stumble? Your absentee feline friend, Darka. Ah! Oh. She's dead. I couldn't tell anyone. I am sorry. Tripped over a cat. Death by tripping over a cat. Oh. Elementary. And of course, we need to explain the locked room mystery portion. Though I guess it could have just been that, you know. But why go to the effort of showing us that the latches are slidey enough that an emergency would cause that? And also the fact that everybody had a headache this morning due to the fact that they probably banged their head up against something. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. Yeah. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that's how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it? At the end, there's a part where you have to point something out. If you inspect the bed, there's an achievement. Ooh, I see. Most animals take a few weeks to adjust. Yeah, like a dog would probably just be like. I wouldn't say that they wouldn't get anxiety from being in a new situation, especially on a moving boat. But like a dog would probably adjust a little bit faster, or at least be easier to handle. But yeah, a cat, especially like if you had them in a case or something like that to sneak them on board, would be very anxious. Yes, and I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It is a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet, I was sure. If someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it's safe to lure the kitten back again. By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator on the adjourning cabin. Doc always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy, I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling for sound Cosmo wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she calmed down. But then... Ooh. I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her crying out, and then... Oh, there was such a dreadful bang. And then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Cosmo was... On the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it would seem likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping. On the glass bell? Yes, this brew is a very large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asagi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten was under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again. Gracious. That cat is insufferably restless as I am. Yeah. Well, he knows something about himself, at least. When I woke this morning, I heard the young man in the cabin next to mine had died. And I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? Where did it come from? Ah, it's good. He's got a little smile. He's patting the snake on the head. It's so good. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board the ship? Oh, I didn't say? Snake is my friend. His name is Perzoko. Perozoko. I don't know. He's my little buddy. This is my son! What? What? That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did the snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? No, snake good. But for the rule's sake, yeah. But my dear burly fellow. A gargantuan venomous snake? Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Huh? Perzoko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He adorable like Granny. It's venomless? There are venomless snakes. Yes, now he is hungry. He is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say milk chickens? Ridiculous! Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Verzgos eats mouses! Big fat round mouses that I use by catching with trap. Ah. Oh, so that's what that mouse trap in the passageway out there is for. Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord. It's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land the starring role? He fell over. It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Peresco has nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Fucking love that animation. It's so good. He's got a lot of motion going to him. But she didn't admit to trying to pin it on the wardrobe yet. Miss Pavlova? I understand the difficult situation you find yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Mikotova? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. Yeah, but there's missing some crucial evidence, unfortunately. The wardrobe did it! This was a series of unfortunate events. An accident. Yeah, but this is an Ace Attorney game. So it has to be more than an accident. We can't just have a civil suit case. I'm still mad about that for, like, 6, where the civil suit case turned into a murder case. It's murder or nothing in this world. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholms. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Actually, there are a few cases with murder. So far, I have not seen a single one. So they must be in this game. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. This duology is the only one with cases like that. Okay, I look forward to that. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. We're stopping in Hong Kong, Sholms! Oh. I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope that you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. What? And again, when did he do it? Especially as they're on your wrist as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made it to the next port. You were Mr. Sholms. Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours, was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. He was my boyfriend! I owed him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. Handcuffs are deliberately uncomfortable. Yes, they are meant to be annoying. The key to this discrepancy is in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. And if I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about what really died. Oh, how you really died. About how the scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, now I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes! What should we ponder first? Is the victim who lost his life in the cabin that was bolted shut from the inside? Oh, is. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? Is that what we must, it is that we must establish. But we've already established it, haven't we? The thing is coming up, I think. I hope so. I've got a hard out at 3 o'clock, so I'm hoping this doesn't go for another 2 hours. The man tripped over the kitten that climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident.
Hold it!
It's almost over. Okay, cool. Wait, let's take a step back. Doesn't make sense that if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me. I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't have possibly been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death is no mere accident.
Yes!
The truth is clearly recorded in the photographic print. There's no way Mr. Asugi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The words written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. It's a simple language! It's simple to you because you grew up with it. That shit's not simple at all. He could have picked it up very fast. It doesn't seem likely. It's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? Compared to English? I guess. Ah! Hey, hey Amber. How's it going, kiddo? Exactly what I said before. There's no way Mr. Azuki could have left this message on the floor. The reason why is clearly explained here. Because he died instantly. Call that again. I mean, you hit me. Damage to the cervical nerve resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah! He wouldn't have had time to write anything. Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asugi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if Miss Pavlova told us the truth. What? So Susato-san has noticed it too, then. Putting this message on the floor, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. Oh, okay. Thank God. I was worried there for a second when it came back to the picture.
Yes!
She wouldn't have left the bell behind. This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about it. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over and the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. What's the flaw in logic? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Ah! Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in the waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. But these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asugi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And the same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth. In order to cover up his or her own guilt. Kya! You're also there! Amber is in both places. Everyone run! Yes, there is someone else present in Mr. Asugi's. You are wasting time! Someone else was there? Da! Of course we know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There is no way in or out. Oh, yes. Yeah. Figured we would be pointing this out here eventually. The only other person in the cabin was the young student who died. The young student who died was you.
Yes!
Yes, I was there. That's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise, about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I could have left a message. Also, why would he make the message point at it? There's no way you could have left a message, to be precise, about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen on the floor, for fear of becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asugi really died. But why would this person have wouldn't have taken all of the pieces of the bell? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The small lamp suspended in the ceiling would have barely had cast any light on the floor there. How the motherfuck do you sleep in a wardrobe? Very uncomfortably. The thing I love about the duology is when multiple things would logically work for a contradiction, you can use either. That's nice. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? No, actually, I don't suspect you specifically. I suspect him. Seaman Stroganoff. Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. Oh, is she your kid? 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and they went and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel for being criminal. Niet, not mine. Okay. Ah, so that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in her cabin? But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is all more interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? And they didn't throw any defendants? I don't know what you mean by that. You are a great detective. You should know. Looked truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could have go into cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you want to tell me the killer can walk through locked doors? Niet! It is impossible! Ah, he's right. But wait! I've read about this in the detective stories. People often tie a thread to the door. We've gone over this, Susato. Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. Most games, a defendant only exists to be a defendant, and others, and only for a single case. Ah, so you're meaning like characters will come back. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find in any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight. No thread or needle or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so... Sato-san, how could you shift it onto me like that? So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it. Bro, I forgot to check notice sooner. All good, Azora. Welcome in. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? All the defenses in the duology are recurring characters, or at least mentioned again. Ooh. Very nice. A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholms means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. And so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point to the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door across the bolts. Hold on. I have a good idea, but I don't want to... I'm being cautious. I'm being cautious. Oh. Well, then my idea is gone. Wait, what? Can I just present it anyway? Oh, okay. I thought it would change the thing. Look at the bookcase! Zoology was meant to be a single game, but was made in two because Shutakumi had too many ideas. That sounds like Shutakumi. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It was a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe... Yes, that's what's known as a force of inertia acting on the objects. Is there nothing Sasato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book, at least? It's the book of many things. Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books in the bookcase also made something else in the cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had to come to this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then, the Tome of Infinite Knowledge. Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Osanaga. Can we make it through this case without me having to refill my water? We'll find out. Oh, yes. That's right. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes. It's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change in speed. Almost done. Yeah, no, I figure we got to be coming to the end here. For the force of ineptia, if you want to call it. I'm sure that's exactly how you spell inertia. I just knew that that's what they were talking about before. But I would also love the fact that, like, if he just said it wrong because it's the first time he's heard it. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Asugi was killed, animation? That's fun. The SS Berea made another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All of the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? And when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All of the books and everything had toppled over, just like Mr. Asugi's cabin. Oh my! Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? You're out of your mind. You say Berea made the emergency stop? This seems a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit was actually someone in the engine room. Oh, it's simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh, yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to push the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain can't afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. That sort of button, one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait! It was you? When the button was pressed, two things happened in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. So Sholms is the one who pushed it the second time. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholms, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button is but one purpose in life. To be pressed. Without whatever the occasion. Oh no. Don't ever put this man in a trap. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with the ship! I report you to Captain. You are in more trouble now. Almost. Button! Now, I'm sure all of this can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider... Yes, it all comes to one thing now. After last night, after what happened to Mr. Azugi, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not? You are idiots. Horia is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop in the middle of the night, there would be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support the idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped the vessel last night? Boom!
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff, it's your duty to patrol the first class area of the ship, isn't that right? Da! That is correct. Why? In the ship's log here, this would be where you recorded the details of your duties. What are you doing with that? That is mine! Ah, you're rather careless. Left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with the mind to return it to you later. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is looking at your what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is... because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write "nothing to report," wouldn't you? Indeed so. Which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard SS Bruria. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish! If I'm perfectly honest, I find it a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really happened, surely all of us would have noticed. He really should have gone back and wrote it. Yeah. I'm assuming whatever fully happened was more on his mind at the time. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know how it feels like. The ship lurched so violently, the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anyone would sleep through that, even if it had happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing? Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Ah! Oh, yes. I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Chair! I want to hear about this man's throbbing head. Well, I mean, you don't have to go that far, Chair. It could just be his head. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right. My head's been throbbing today, too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. So the food was fucked with. Okay. So it's a combination of the fact that the food was fucked with, at least in the general area of where everything happened, and that an emergency stop was called. Okay. All right. Okay. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I'd already been dragged out of the wardrobe. And cuffed. And had those handcuffs put on me. Why didn't I wake up when all of that was happening to me? We were drugged! Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo. You boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. Stowaway class accommodations don't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Ah, well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of it. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? Yeah. They soaked it in NyQuil! They drugged everyone by cooking it in NyQuil. It was a NyQuil brine, Your Honor. My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, Mr. Sholms, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? Not the NyQuil. I do. No, really? Is that true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered by the addition of sulfuric, designed to induce a very deep slumber in those consumed it. Who consumed it? They predicted the sleepy chicken. A sleeping drug. Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? That is insane. Mr. Naruhodo. Of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. No, that's exactly what he means. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a sulfuric drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, seaman. I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. Oh. Okay. They're about to admit it, but I think I know what happened. The plan was to pick her up from the beginning, because we didn't make port last night. So the crew, having known her before and knowing that she was trying to escape the ballet troupe that she was suffering in, had set up the plan, made sure to drug every passenger on the ship, including Mr. Hosonaga, because he's a new member of the crew to them, so they wouldn't need him. And therefore, they could pull the emergency stop to get her on board. Unfortunately, at the end of it, it resulted in her cat getting someone killed, who is also the only person on the entire ship. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Did somebody actually kill him and it wasn't the cat because he was the only one still awake and noticed the emergency stop? Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals. He was awake because of not eating. Yep, because he's the only one who didn't eat the NyQuil chicken. For aiding and abetting a renegade. Please, no more. I will tell everything. I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe? Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. If you pay Sholms, he'll stay quiet. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. So they didn't put it like in the brine or something, or for the chicken. They just shoved it into the meat and it was like, hopefully nobody will find this weird. Oh boy, that's good. Da, we could not make all drug. How you say? Dissolve. Okay. Talk about heavy seasoning. He really didn't question that. Well, you know, he is Phoenix's ancestor, or great-great-grandfather, or whatever. So I believe it. That midnight in the waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrade on shore with small fishing boat. Well, the passengers of the SS Berea slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So if that's what happened, the only person awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who dislike chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. That means that it would have been possible for you. Could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case. There would have been a complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. Yeah, they would just wake up and be like, huh, my door's locked. I don't remember doing that. What? Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes! The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway, and so no one would, not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. Yep. In summary, in order to fasten the bolts of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. The lack of jumping means it's true. You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragment of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock the door. All told, a busy night. But... I don't know any of this. I'm just a little girl. I'm just a little girl, Your Honor. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories. That's not true. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laughable trait? What? Your Honor, I'm just a chill guy. Your Honor, I ain't do nothing. I'm quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation is, to me, is everything. Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes? Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt in the wind? What accusatory cry of guilt? Writes it down and shows it to them. Alright, please, you weren't even there. How could you know, Your Honor? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of the involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No. You must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction. You can't hear it with your ears. You gotta eyes it. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh no, here we go again. To expose the truth. Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. Oh, okay, cool. What exactly, Mr. Sholms? With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said, of these two provocators. Joke's on you, I can hear images. Haven't you ever seen a GIF that just like you could just tell what the sound is even though you can't actually hear it? If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we knew that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, didn't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asogi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of those two were there when it happened. Precisely. Delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. What? Left ear. She has some petite ears among that beautiful hair. A little pink shell. Oh, that's right. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. Ah, that's an earring. Crescent moon part looks as though it was made from wood. Wood? It's charming, isn't it? She didn't have that earring earlier, did she not? I don't remember that. Women do seem to love adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears, it seems. Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san. Is that it? But the right ear is missing one. Such a petite ear among the beautiful hair. What's that? And there's something attached to her ear. I expect it's an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry. An earring, blah, blah, blah. Tiny, it's missing part. So now all that's left is the clasp that attaches to the ear. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. Is that what we're pointing to? Will this be my first mistake? Let's find out!
Yes!
Right ear. Cool. There's the dainty jewelry you're wearing on your ears, Miss Pavlova. I remember this part, so I looked and there wasn't there. Ah, okay. Now find a piece of the earring, Mr. Agosi. Although, if you haven't... why am I not reading this? What spectacularly contrived logic led you to this mindless conclusion? Oh, well, it's supposed to be logic and reasoning spectacular, so I thought I'd contribute to the show. It's my show, Mr. Naruhodo. Kindly perform any particular experiments on your own stage. Ugh, sorry. Okay. So Cosmo died. I think there's two possible ways. Either we find a trace of something that the person in question left behind at the scene, or, if that's not possible, a trace of something that the person took away from the scene, but that be that accidentally or deliberately. A trace of something that someone took away. If you observe closely enough, I believe you will find an example of both. Give them long, hard, uncompromising stare from all sides. Alright, I'm gonna... I can't save! No! But my save scum! You can present evidence. You right. Is there anything on Build-A-Bear over here? Chunky arms. He has arms like tree trunks, doesn't he? And hairy tree trunks. Yes, he certainly has sailor's arms. He was born a man of the sea. Even if I had been awake, I couldn't have done anything but about being dragged out of the wardrobe by this man. Naruto-san, are you alright? You seem to be lost in thought. Oh, maybe his back pocket! Blame those hairy tree trunks. Can we even look at... I keep... Oh! Hello! Oh, look at this! Some kind of stain in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken. The ink pot... He's pink again. Look, sometimes you just see a man with some really thick arms and you just want to... Yeah. Ink. It looks like the color, too. It's clear where this came from. What about your butt?
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. He wants to be held. Eh? Ah, yes, I don't know where this dirt comes from. So, nothing in particular comes to mind about that stain? What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. A very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform. And I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. Mr. Naruto, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves what this stain is on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform really is... Do we have just the ink pot? We don't, so I have to assume that this is what they want me to present. Okay. Yes, it's this photograph. The ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Ah! Ah, the penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of the exact same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means... you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. And then I pressed button to make Bureau into emergency stop and bolt cabin doors shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. Biff, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. When our angel came to me, she was white like sheet. Biff, please. You must help me. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. What happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend. So it really was an accident. Everything that happened to the captain was like Angel told me. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Aosugi's cabin. He then tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Yes, that is right. Oh, was that somebody else? Oops. So, after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers. Only to find that the occupant laying lifeless on the floor. He was killed by furries, Your Honor! She said she was worried that she heard sound of something falling on the floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked. So she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Aosugi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why? I already told you. When Nina opened the door to student cabin, look, I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? I'm assuming that's da. Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you. So that finally it now? We've discovered the real truth about Cosmo's death at last? Ah! Something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholms? This photograph. Yes, I took it myself, as you know. Uh-huh. Cause of death was a broken neck, therefore the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there's one particular area in this photograph that seems to be somewhat unnatural. You know, I was thinking about it when we looked at him again. What do you mean unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well... If Cosmo tripped and fell by some terrible stroke of bad luck and broke his neck, which part of the photograph seems unnatural?
Yes!
It's his finger. This word in Russian clearly wasn't written by Kazuma. So, if you're looking for something unnatural, that's the obvious point. Very true. It is certainly particular, but that's not what I meant by unnatural, I'm afraid. A particular crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. I mean, to identify another point. Oh, I see. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. In my opinion, if you landed as the victim appears to have done here, it would be most unnatural. Other hand? I'm sure you'll reach the same conclusion. How thoughtful of you, Mr. Sholms. Ah, I didn't read that. He tripped and fell by some terrible stroke of bad luck and broke his neck. So, okay, well, I'm glad that they didn't, like, penalize me for that, because they're like, oh, you're clearly onto the right spot, you're just not looking at the right thing. So, his other hand? Are you
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. The same exact thought occurred to me. I don't understand why, like, the pointed out finger wouldn't also be considered unnatural, because if he died instantly on impact, why would he only have one finger sticking out? What's with the crack pipe? It's not a crack pipe. It's a tobacco pipe. That's what people used to use to smoke tobacco back in the day. And sometimes still today. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yeah, both hands are pretty much closed up. And we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say. As though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there? My dear fellow, the other half of the ring, of the earring. Sholms likes opium and crack. Well, the pipe is not normally used for crack. Mr. Sholms, show us, please! Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? Yes. Yes, you would. This is what I found. Oh! A crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle. Yes, you're right. A crescent moon, it's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo, that is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did the crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean With significance. What significance does it have? Observe! Find the answer with your own eyes.
Yes!
I'm sure you could point at either ear, but we want to point at the one that's the same. Miss Pavlova, on your ear there. I see you have a crescent moon as well. Ah! What? And on your other ear, there seems to be a crescent moon missing. You could. Yeah, I figured I could do either or. A little link holding on on must have broken, I suppose. Now, the missing crescent moon we found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Ah! And love his shock. I love his shock face. It's duh. Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asugi must have grasped the crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night, Mr. Asugi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But the question is, why did Mr. Asugi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? She's dead, and we'll never know. We've killed her with science and logic. When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin and I could relax after this horrible long day. Darka, wait! I love her hook braid. Yeah. I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy. But nothing worked. Darka would not come back. What are you doing here this time of night, Inspector? Oh. I'm sorry. We get one last look at his beautiful face. One last look at his waving red headband that just constantly blows in the wind that doesn't exist. I'm gonna miss him. I thought it was a friend of mine. A young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin... Just a moment. Sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Ah! Ah, of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No! I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in a faraway east known a Russian ballerina? The headband is the source of his power. It wasn't strong enough. It wasn't strong enough. It's so sad. So she kind of lashed out because he just recognized who she was. Hey, I saw your performance in Japan. Yeah, the beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Oh, okay. I, I thought he was gonna go to pull out fucking Ryunosuke, and it would just be like, he flopped on the floor because he was asleep. Okay, never mind. It's fine. He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Oh, she assumed that, but it is actually what he was doing. He was going to go wake up Ryunosuke. Oh, why did I think I could trust him? And then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then... Darka jumped out of my arms and down at the young man's feet. And so it still was technically an accident. As he turned around to look at me... Oh! Oh, no! I pushed him. Never mind. Alright. I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. Inspect the bed. I will. I just saw where he landed. I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. And that's when you went to fetch help from Seaman Stroganoff, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out, the thud on the floor, so I ran to her. She was standing in the cabin door, shaking like a leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Biff. If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go." So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Cosmo's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into the cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowaway in the wardrobe, still sleeping. Right. That's when he found me. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors, put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Susato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. Yeah, honestly, if you had not put that back, we probably wouldn't have gotten this far and you would have gotten away with it. I dragged the young man's body to a good place. I used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote wardrobe, but in Russian, so that person who found him would look inside the wardrobe and find Stowaway. I think you always made him sleep in the closet, or they shared a bed. I think that they shared the bed at least a few times, for sure. Cuddling. For warmth, obviously. Tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin, and I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin, and I finished the job by pressing the emergency alarm button on the passageway. They were roommates, Your Honor. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Bruya did indeed come to an emergency halt a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt in the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locker room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said that you told Cosmo about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. And it's because you were worried that he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was a friend of mine. He said an inspector was his friend. Ah, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. Yeah, you did a great job. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, I... May I stop you a moment, Miss Pavlova? Eh? It's just... doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, Mr. Asogi was he really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain. But... he was a man of his word. And if he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done it. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. And he was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not done yet, it seems. There's one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes, what action was the victim really about to take at that moment? He was about to open up the wardrobe, and I was gonna flop out like a fucking dead seal. Can we determine whether the young man's gaze whether the young man's gaze was... Here's looking at the wardrobe! First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. Fuck Brazil, you're gonna turn about big top. No! That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still. That cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night. This is how the cabin looked. Are you guys looking into his brain? What's happening here? Is he projecting his thoughts out into the open like a transponder snail? Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. If there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze of where it lands. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? Yunosuke's thoughts are always projected. That's why everybody can read his thoughts. I didn't mean to hit the thing, but yeah. The wardrobe. My wardrobe. I was in there at the time, of course, sleeping soundly. Too soundly. If only I hadn't eaten that chicken that was laced with the sleeping drug. If only he'd woken me up. And maybe this tragedy would never have happened.
Take that!
Take that! Oh, right, the bed! Fuck! Damn it, and I didn't save. I'm sorry. I forgot. No Denden Bushi needed. Not a single one. Considering everything that happened last night. Certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yeah, I fucked up. Yes, however... it was directly beside the bell cord. The wardrobe. Looks like I'm going to the big top. God damn it, not again. I can't handle Mo. Or Regina. Or that fucking puppet. The wardrobe? Let's get him. No! Stay back! And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Ah! Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Mo will be your roommate. No! I'd rather die! Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Another opinion. Yes, but not from a member of the crew. He's got a new collection of jokes for you. No, Mr. Asagi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. Panic can cause some problems. Miss Pavlova? I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did. And that will never change. You have to listen to Alpa at all times. No! I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really. I'm so sorry. What have I done? You'll have to... Oh, wait. No, it just popped up over there because there's a delay. And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident of the SS Beruya was finally laid to rest. And you have to tutor Sebastian. Ah! I'm not a prosecutor, I don't know. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now, then? Yeah, once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police in Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to reparate her? And keep him from eating crayons. No, I'm gonna let him eat the crayons. Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all of that out. Sholms can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? I'm glad that you're... A fair amount of time must have passed because your shiner's gone, your glasses are fixed. You're looking good again, Hosonaga. You'll have to save... He'll save you the red one. Ah, that's nice of him. No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganoff? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you'd lost good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. Hey! In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but... Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Da. You also have to clean up after the monkey. I don't know if I can lift half the shit he can. I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yeah, I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. Looks like my study tour of Great Britain is over before it even began, then. To think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London. That seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Susato! No! Susato-san. What are you doing with the sword? Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, and, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Osanaga just told me I should pack, you know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Oh no! I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Yeah. Susato-san. He had such grand ideas for the visit to Great Britain. I was about to say Great Japan. When she cries, I cry. I don't have a sad face. I'm sorry. So many dreams, and now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruto-san. It's just too much. You'll definitely get one at the big top. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Inspector, my duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I let everyone down. You damn sure did! Osanaga, you son of a bitch. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. I do! What? I'm free again now. Huh? Surprised, Mr. Naruhodo? God damn it! Wait, what is the meaning of this? Oh, trifling matter. Simply that, in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong, and it's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them, for old time's sake, shall we say. You are a stowaway, after all. He thinks this is funny? My friend is dead, and you're fucking making fun of me. Mr. Sholms. I do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late... Dang it, Sholms. May I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending, and I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. You will have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that happened. Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asugi's unfortunate death, I am afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no. I don't care for me, but... Poor Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there's no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholms. We know of no other lawyer. Who could it be? Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications attained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Just cram all the British law in 50 days. What's harder than that? Yes. Miss Susato? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? Ah! But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry, in that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach London shores. And they'll do it like absolute chads. Nothing like a time skip to make it so that you'll learn everything you need to learn in an insanely short amount of time. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruhodo, that's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out! I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. Death! Off with his head. Think Elbeth will have a time skip? No, I don't think so. I don't know. With the way things are going, I think we're amping up towards the final battle. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make that happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. Don't look at me like that. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Mr. Sato? Oh, she smiled. I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. Bus girl. And she'll help him study. Or kill him trying. No, it's madness. Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating? Because she's the best. Duty and rules are a dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest. Give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector. Mister. I was gonna say Mister. It's just the filler scene of Gohan's teacher whipping him while shouting to learn. Yep, over and over again. If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how to best make my report. He's gonna come back beaten and bloody again, isn't he? Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm gonna try. I wonder. Would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant, after all. Yeah! Also, DBZ. Nah, no. No. They're equal in my eyes. Like, DBZ's got good action, but the story suffers a little bit, in my opinion. Not to say it's bad, it's a little bit more slapdash, just due to some changes and stuff that need to happen. Whereas One Piece is definitely something that, well, I'm not saying he planned it all from the beginning. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh no, he knows everything that he's doing. He's definitely pulled from the seat of his pants many times, Oda. but he's good at what he does. It's top 10, but not quite as good. I flip it. One Piece is my number one. I mean, obviously, considering my own VTuber model. Thank you. And Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. We get a sword? Oh my god, we're Prosecutor Blackquill. Oh no! But it definitely gets too much credit. I don't say it gets too much credit. I just think some of the fans of One Piece give him... Okay, yeah, they give him too much credit sometimes. But he is still one of the best, like, writers of our generation. I'm not gonna lie. Me? Are you sure? And sure, it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Absolutely flies by the seat of his pants. There are definitely times, but even the time periods where he flies by the seat of his pants, it's good flying by the seat of his pants. We're not talking like George Lucas over here of writing with a fucking just with his butt. Its name is Kurama. It's a great sword that's been in the Asogi clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. And we never see it again. So then, Mr. Sato, it seems that we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But, before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you two. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. What? 3 times. Huh? What? I should never have doubted... okay. I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. Toriyama and Akiri's writing make me feel ways Oda never have. I'm the exact opposite. There are not many writers who can make you cry over a boat. No matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock, and you just found out about my stowing away. The cabin door was locked. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. It's not excuses, it's true. Whatever the circumstances, I never should have thrown you, and not just once, but 5 times! That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it. No, no, no. Don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholms. I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I am most impressed. Haven't given us a boat to cry over yet? Well, Toriyama unfortunately will never be able to, as he has passed away. When did he see that? I presume that would be for a form of Japanese wrestling? Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of ancient jujitsu techniques. Apparently, it's called the Susato Takedown. It leaves your head spinning, believe me. How beguiling. I am a practitioner of combative arts myself. I am somewhat an accomplished boxer. Here he goes, dancing around again. He's got the 1-2. Look at him go. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on this technique of your arresting throw. Yes, I'd be honored. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Don't throw me, don't throw me, don't throw me. Oh, of course. Don't throw me, don't throw me, don't throw me. Are you ready? No! Sorry? Ah! Why me? To be fair, all Oda really did was give the boat a character. I mean, that's really kind of all that it takes in many cases, but it's about how the character is presented. If he had just slapped a character onto the boat and then killed it off, it wouldn't have hit us as hard. But it's the fact that the Mary was with us for so long. We have seen how they like take care of it and all that. There was an attachment that the readers had to the Mary, just like the Straw Hats themselves. So it's not just giving it a character. It's just about affirming the fact that the Straw Hats truly cared for the Mary, despite what some showings would be, especially when it comes to Luffy. As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, arresting indeed. And that is what the term Susato takedown is it? Actually, no. That was the Susato squash. It's gonna be a long trip. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from the evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered in my mind. No! Don't do this! Oh god. Karuma. That's right. It's the prized sword that's been passed down through generations of Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. Friendly reminder that Luffy not killing Bellamy immediately killed the Mary. Yeah, unfortunately, that is what led to the breaking of the keel. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. Bellamy is the one who broke the keel. Yep. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. Cannot be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So, its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. And I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. Only Kakkoin was a boat? Huh? I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do. I still don't know what that was. But I'm gonna see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. End. Oh, speaking of end, we're gonna go ahead and call things there. Because, like I said, I had a hard out at 3 o'clock. I gotta get me some food, a shower, and I gotta head over to my parents' house. One Piece can't make me cry from a single word. Even I want to live, then you have no soul. There's no heart in you. None! Nah, that's fine. I don't mind people who don't like One Piece. It's my favorite series. It's an insane series that fucking destroys me every time something happens that's major. And I don't mind people who disagree. I understand that not everybody likes the same thing. Not everybody's gonna love One Piece, just like not everybody loves Dragon Ball Z and all that other stuff. There's just how it is. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone who came to hang. The bit right after "Take Me Away From Here" was the part that hit me. It's the whole thing, especially like in English when you're watching it, because I know a lot of people bash on fucking dubs, and you shouldn't, because dubs have gotten so much better from back in the day. And Robin's voice actor just fucking killed that moment. Like, just incredibly. Like, the acting was fucking perfect on that. But yeah, let's see who's doing some streams. The dub scene was great. It was amazing. Let's see. Who's doing stuff? Tria's live. Anybody else before I go to Tria and help out with that? Yeah, we'll raid Tria. She's doing the partner push. We gotta help. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get you guys on the Twitch side on over to Tria, who's doing who's doing a big collab today with some friends of hers, and yeah, eventually I'll have to look up how to raid from YouTube side. I don't know how, but yeah. Either way, hope you guys have a good one. I will be back tomorrow with the face cam stream, so be ready to look at my dumbass face as we continue into the Great Ace Attorney. Bye-bye!